Short track battling is the heart and soul of the Busch Grand National Series. Once a year, everybody loads the kids into the car and heads to the shoreline. This week, the battle is being fought near the coast. We're at Myrtle Beach in South Carolina. And hey, you always need to watch out for those traffic jams when you're trying to get to the sun and fun. What a day to head to the beach in the Carolina Pride Advanced Auto Parts 250 live this afternoon on TNN Motorsports. We're at the Grand Strand. You're looking live at one of the most popular beaches in the country where there are thousands gathered to enjoy the lovely weather. Here at Myrtle Beach Speedway, thousands more are gathered on a hot summer Saturday afternoon. The temperature near 90. The heat index might as well be over 100 as warm as it feels here today. And we're expecting maybe a chance of a typical late summer afternoon thunderstorm in these parts. Hello again, everyone. I'm Rick Benjamin. Welcome to Myrtle Beach Speedway and our live coverage today on TNN Motorsports of the NASCAR Busch Grand National Series. We're going to have a terrific event for you today. 34 cars to do battle at a very hot racetrack this afternoon. We've got a lot of stories to bring you, but let's start off with a little bit of a family reunion. A lot of families come to the shoreline at this time of the year. One family has come to the racetrack. Let's get the story from our pit reporter today, Randy Pemberton.
It's a Green family reunion on the front row. Not unexpected. David Green cops the pole at about 95 miles per hour. It's his third of 1996. If you think it might be Jeff on the outside of row one, it is not. It is Mark Green. Congratulations on a great starting spot. What about it today? You excited?
We're really excited, Randy. You know, it's really exciting to be up here. It's kind of, can't even really describe it. The team really worked hard. We're happy for our sponsor, Timberwolf, and you know, we're just a bunch of young pups wet behind the ears, but we're getting the job done.
Okay, Mark, give it a good run today. If you're wondering where Jeff Green is starting today, he's not far behind. As I said, it's a family reunion. Jeff Green will start sixth today in the Good Wrench Services Chevy.
And he's got a great starting spot to go from. We're welcoming to our coverage today the 1990 Busch Grand National Series champion, 1991 winner here, Chuck Bound. Chuck, great to have you with us.
Thanks, Rick. I'm looking forward to it. You know, things are going to be interesting today. I think they're allowed 2 sets of tires under caution, which means they have to average about 80 laps per set. These drivers today are only going to want to go about 25 laps per set. It's going to be really slippery. Handling is going to be a premium, and I can't wait to see how it all unfolds.
Now, qualifying here yesterday, some of the big names in this series didn't fare very well, and Chuck singled out 4 or 5 names that we'll be watching progress through the field today, and here they are.
Well, that's true. You know, Jeff Purvis back there 14th. I guess Randy LaJoie is 15th. Larry Pearson, last year's winner. Hermie Sadler, Todd Bodine, Mike McLaughlin. Those guys will come to the front. They have the experience to know what it's going to take today. They know they're going to have to take care of their tires. They know they're going to have to take care of their cars. And, you know, they're the ones that will probably do the least fly swatting on the steering wheel. They know they got to keep the car straight to be successful at Myrtle Beach.
Handling, though, will be the key here today. There are a few more famous names in motorsports than the Earnhardt name, and an entirely new page in that family's tradition is about to be written here this afternoon. Let's get the story trackside. Here's Randy.
You got it. Starting 7th today, Dale Earnhardt Jr. He's starting alongside the number that his father made famous. Dale Earnhardt Jr., congratulations on your first Busch Series start. What about it today? Can you run up front, possibly win this race?
Well, you know, we're sure going to try. We got a good handling race car with the Mom and Pops and Dale Earnhardt Chevrolet. We ran good laps in practice, so I think that if we can save the tires and be smooth and just let them other boys do what they want to do, and you know, maybe we'll be around at the end. We'll just have to conserve tires and have a good pit strategy, and we'll see what happens.
Okay, good luck to Dale Earnhardt Jr. He finished 4th in a late model stock race just a few moments ago. We'll be back to the Myrtle Beach Speedway in just a moment.
Fired the motors here at Myrtle Beach Speedway. We're ready to go with 250 laps of Busch Grand National Series action. The AutoZone race analysis brought to you today by the more than 1,325 AutoZone stores across America. AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts. Nearly $175,000 up today for the 34 cars. We'll do battle for 250 laps on this half-mile racetrack. A little bit of an unusual shape of this track, too. We'll talk more about that as the afternoon goes on. Let's take a look at your starting lineup today. We've met the Green brothers, who'll make up row number 1. David qualifying on the pole, and Mark Green on a limited schedule. Second row, great qualifying weekend for the Petty Enterprises cars. Rodney Combs starts third with Dennis Setzer. Third row, Jason Keller in the Slim Jim car, and Jeff Green in the Earnhardt family. 3. Row 4, Dale Earnhardt Jr. Fifth row, Jim Bound, Chuck's brother, and Randy Porter. Buckshot Jones and Curtis Markham in row number 6 today. Seventh row is Mike Harmon and Jeff Purvis, who won earlier this year. Randy LaJoie in the thick of the point battle with Shane Hall in the 8th row here today. The 9th row, Kevin LePage from Vermont and Nathan Bucky. Tim Fedewa in the 40 car, former winner here last year, in fact. Larry Pearson will start 20th today. Row number 11 includes Hermie Sadler. A lot of folks think he's a favorite today with Bobby Donner. Glenn Allen Jr. in the 99. 13th row, frequent flyer Todd Bodine and Mike Magic Shoes McLaughlin. Tommy Houston and Phil Parsons in row 14 today. We've got Marty Ward and Doug Hevron in the 15th row with Dick Trickle just back from Michigan and Mike Dillon in the 16th row. Shotgun on the field, Patty Moise and Jeff McClure and Bobby Jones's Ford. And we'll take you through a couple of shots we'll be enjoying today inside some of these race cars. We'll be riding along with Phil Parsons today in his Channel Lock Chevrolet. We'll be able to look through the windshield with Phil as he navigates this fine half-mile racetrack. We'll be up on top with Phil as well, and we'll have even a shot out the rear of the Channel Lock Chevrolet for you as well here today. We're also going to be taking a ride with Dick Trickle. Now, Trickle did not qualify this car. They had Johnny Rumley in the car yesterday to qualify. Dick was up in Michigan getting ready for his Winston Cup ride tomorrow. We'll be riding along with Dick Trickle, who just arrived at the track here a short time ago today in the Duraloop automobile here this afternoon. Chuck Bound, field of cars lining up behind the pace car, and everyone will be worried about the heat, the tire wear, and so forth. What would your race strategy want to be here today?
Well, I think you just want to get off to a smooth start. You don't really have to worry about trying to lead the first 5 or 10 laps. In fact, in Busch racing, there's no bonus points for leading, but you have to take care of your car, fill it out, feel it out, see if there's anything you can tell your crew when you get to come in and get those tires that they can do to it to make it maybe just a little bit better. But you want to watch out for the early wrecks. Sometimes they happen. It gets a little wild.
Randy Pemberton on pit road. Just how hot is it down there?
It's definitely hot, no doubt about it. We talked about the temperature of the air. What about the temperature of the surface? I'll kneel down here and get a shot of it. We're, as you can see, only about 20 feet off of the bottom groove here. We'll get a shot of it. 124 degrees is what we're looking at, and they haven't even cranked them up yet. Chuck Bound, it's going to be tough on the tires and the drivers because these Busch cars are really putting out some heat these days.
Well, they are, Randy. Since they went to the V8 engines with a 9.5 to 1 compression, the exhaust temperatures are tremendous. It'll be 140 degrees in the cockpits today.
A lot of drivers have made some changes to their cars, a lot of extra duct work added and so forth. Didn't hear too many people talk about cool suits today with a 250-lap race.
No, these guys are probably a little tougher than that. You know, your buddies look at you and kind of say, "You wearing a cool suit today?" Well, I tell you, when the race is over, they're pretty nice. You appreciate them, but you know, they'll just perspire a lot and drink a lot of water today to get ready for this thing.
Water will be at a premium in these race cars. Busch Point Battle, Busch Grand National Series title fight is a dandy. We're at halfway in the season today, 13th race today of the 26-race schedule. David Green with only a 35-point lead over Randy LaJoie. Todd Bodine very much in the hunt, too. And Phil Parsons and Curtis Markham rounding out your top 5. I think everyone believes it's a David Green, Randy LaJoie point battle, but you were telling me earlier, Chuck, that you can come from a couple of 100 points back in half a year.
Well, it can happen, especially if those two start having some bad luck. Then it'll tighten up a whole lot at the front. But, you know, we're just halfway there, so there's a lot of racing left in 96.
Field is ready to go. The pace car has turned out the lights here at Myrtle Beach Speedway. We're glad you're with us live on TNN Motorsports. Rick Benjamin, Chuck Bound, Randy Pemberton here. 250 laps to go, and the Green brothers will bring them down to the green flag. Rodney Combs and Dennis Setzer starting in row 2. Jason Keller on the inside of row number 3. And it ought to be a terrific race. Field taking a nice, slow pace to come to the green. David Green bringing them down. He's a veteran of this, been on the pole many, many times in his Busch Series career, 94 champion. And we're underway at Myrtle Beach. Glad to have you with us. And David Green takes him into turn 1. And there's some smoke out of one of the cars going into turn number 1. Looks like Marty Ward's car may be having a problem. Everyone else away, nice and clean. Ward drops down to the inside of the racetrack. We stay green, at least for the moment, as Ward has the field work by him. David Green, your leader on lap number 1. Rodney Combs, whose car is very, very strong this weekend, up to second.
Rodney had the opportunity to follow David by David's brother there, and he's on the inside lane, and 37 car just had to back off Mark Green and get down in third.
Jeff Green, meantime, trying to challenge, trying to move up from 6th spot. Jeff Fuller working the outside of the 47. Leaders off of turn 4 to put lap number 2 up on the board. Jason Killer up into the 4th spot, the Slim Jim car, behind Dennis Setzer. Good battle a little further back in the pack. Fuller on the outside with Jim Bound and Randy Porter there.
Well, Jim looks like he's got the preferred line being on the inside, but 47 car Fuller's doing a pretty good job of hanging on the outside. We'll have to see who comes out on top. They're still door to door.
Battle for 9th. Fuller in the Sunoco car on the outside. Jim Bound on the inside in the Lux Foods car, the 51. Randy Porter with the Universe car, the 48, right inside. It looks like the outside line for Fuller, not the place you want to be.
Now, it looks like he needs to find a way to get down quick, even if he has to let off a little bit, but that's just tough to say. It's easy to sit here and watch it and say, well, let off a little bit and get down behind that 48 car, but momentum is such a big thing. It's just not that simple.
David Green continues to show the way as we watch the battle for 8th, 9th, and 10th. Buckshot Jones moving up quickly. He's up in the thick of that battle, too, and Fuller still unable to get to the inside and avoid being freight trained. Meantime, your lead group of cars, it's still David Green in the Caterpillar Chevrolet. Got about a 3.5, 4 car length advantage on Rodney Combs in the Petty Pontiac, the Lance Snacks car. And Mark Green now back up to 3rd. He's settled in nicely. David Green has put together a strong season so far. The Busch Series point leader trying to win his 2nd Busch Grand National title. As we look at the race for 2nd spot, Mark Green in the 37 car challenging Rodney Combs. Rodney Combs is a guy who's won hundreds of dirt track races, still searching for the right combination in the Busch Series. And Larry Pearson, car number 92, one of the drivers who we thought would move up quickly from the back, having problems in the fence. Huh?
Yeah, it looks like he must have got up into the wall a little bit. He's going awfully slow, steering on the pit road. Yeah, the right front tire looks like it's down. Oh, that's too bad. It's going to be very difficult to repeat today. He looks like he got the right side. Quite a bit of damage. He hit pretty good.
That team has struggled good this year as well. A lot of folks thought that Larry would be one of the favorites coming into today's event since he did win here 1 year ago, but looks like that will not be the case today. So the crew, to the attention of Larry Pearson on pit road, trying to change right side rubber very quickly. Trying to pull the sheet metal out on that car, too. Aerodynamics, Chuck, not a big problem here, but I would think the handling would certainly be a question mark for that car.
Yeah, and the other problem is he's going laps down on the green flag right now, and that's going to be the hardest part to make up of all. They might get the car driving good again, but it's going to be really tough for him to become a contender to win this thing 2 years in a row.
Battle for 2nd. Rodney Combs is 2nd in the 43, and then we see Mark Green in the 37 right behind him. We got a glimpse of David Green, who's led all the way off the pole in the 95 car, and David Green stretching it out now 7 or 8 car lengths as the leaders funnel off of turn number 4.
Well, David Green's been fast on these type racetracks all year long. Well, matter of fact, his entire career, no matter what car he was driving. So.
We watch that battle for 2nd. Let's take a look back and get a look from Phil Parsons' in-car camera. What do you see here?
Well, I can't exactly tell. I don't think he just slipped up there. I believe he got together with somebody behind him because the front end jumped right and then the back end, and that's not characteristic of just over driving it. He had a little help. Larry
Pearson's car still on pit road. The Mac Martin team to the service of the 92 car, the Stanley Tools Chevrolet. Meantime, we stay green on the racetrack. We've got 10 laps on the board, and David Green is showing the way at Myrtle Beach Speedway. Glad you're with us on TNN Motorsports. Back in a moment.
50 on TNN is brought to you by Napa Auto Parts. At Napa, we keep America running.
Back live at Myrtle Beach. Don't forget, right after our broadcast from the Speedway here, Eli Gold is with us with Race Talk tonight, live from Michigan International Raceway. Eli's guest this week, Johnny Benson, the 1995 Busch Grand National Series champion. That's coming up next tonight on TNN Motorsports when we throw the checkered flag here. You see David Green moving by. Chuck Bounty's opened up a straightaway on this battle for 2nd spot.
Well, you know, he's just got a clean racetrack in front of him. He hasn't caught any lap cars yet. He's just running perfect, smooth laps right now, and I almost think that Mark Green is just a little bit stronger than Rodney Combs, but he can't get by him. He's not enough better just to drive on by him, but he's taking a look inside. He's taking a look outside. He's wanting to move up to 2nd and run his brother down, but he's got to get to 2nd first.
Talking to some of these drivers yesterday as they prepared to qualify, and then after practice this afternoon, a couple of hours ago, I heard several people say this was a 2, even a 3-lane racetrack. So far, we haven't seen anyone venture up high at all other than Jeff Fuller.
I didn't hear anybody saying that, Rick. You know, you got to keep it low in the corners to maximize the lap speeds here. So it's pretty hard to go to the outside and make a successful pass.
Some of the cars, Chuck, that you picked out as your Chargers, Randy LaJoie in the 74, Hermie Sadler in the 1 car. They're running 15th and 16th at this point, making some progress, but not very quickly.
Well, I want to wait till lap 250 to cash in on my prognosis here. Now, give him some time. This is tedious work here. It really is.
Have to be patient. And here's Hermie Sadler looking inside of Randy LaJoie in the DeWalt Chevrolet and makes the move to gain the spot.
And his car's working good. He got a good run off the second corner and just slipped underneath Randy and overtook him and made the pass. We're just getting to the point now that the tires are starting to tell you what your car is, whether you're too tight or you're too loose or whatever, because we've just ran enough laps. Things are really getting hot.
And a move for second spot. Mark Green takes the 37 car underneath Rodney Combs. You mentioned he was taking a look inside, and that moved down into turn 3. So Mark Green has put his Chevrolet into second, and now Glenn Allen Jr. makes a move, getting by Randy LaJoie to gain another spot there. Glenn Allen running nicely into the top 15 now, too, moving by LaJoie.
Yeah, Randy has fallen back a couple of positions. Evidently, he must just be a little too tight or a little too loose, but there's a lot of racing left. He knows he has to take care of it and make it better when he stops, so he's just, biding his time right now.
A couple of cars that have not really figured in the battle so far have been in already for tires. We saw Nathan Butke come in a few moments ago and get some tires. This now the battle for third. Rodney Combs in the 43 car back to third. Dennis Setzer has started fourth, may be able to get under him inside.
Yeah, those two had pulled out on Dennis Setzer a little bit. Mark Green into 43 of Rodney Combs, and when Rodney gave up third position, he was able to get right back down to the inside. We've got trouble over here.
Yeah, we sure do. It looks like Dale Earnhardt Jr. is involved along with Jason Keller in the Slim Jim 57. Not a lot of damage done. Dale Earnhardt Jr. turned the wrong way in car number 31. He'll get it pointed in the right direction. Car's running. He gets it spun back in the right side coming off of turn 4, pointed north this time, and he'll rejoin the field, but has lost several spots certainly as the caution starts to wave. Probably need an opportunity to get some tires here.
The key is he did stay in the lead lap, though. He got it going again from the spin and pulled out just in front of David Green, the leader, and he did beat him to the caution flag. So he'll still be on the lead lap, but it's going to make it a little tougher from the back.
Let's get another look at this coming off of turn 4 here. Tire smoke already showing.
Yeah, I really can't quite see good enough exactly what's happened there. We've just see some cars spinning. I don't know if they got together. I'm sure they probably did.
Looked like Jason Keller in the 57 and Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the 31. Made a little contact there in between 3 and 4. Both cars went for a dance. Everybody's okay and back underway. But we're under caution here for the first time today, scoring 26 laps on the board right now. And your leader continues to be David Green. He has led all the way. This would be a little early to commit and take one of your yellow flag sets of tires, I would think.
I think it would. Even though you spun on him, he didn't do him any good. But Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s car looked like it's in pretty good shape. I don't see any body damage. And he's still on the lead lap, so he'll probably wait for those tires.
David Green showing the way early in the going here at Myrtle Beach Speedway. Back with more on TNN after this. 50 laps our distance in time for an AutoZone Tech Fact, brought to you by more than 1,325 AutoZone stores across America. AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts.
You've heard recently a lot about front clips and pivot points. Well, this is a front clip from this bar on forward. It's where the lower control arm rests and where the upper control arm rests. And it's those pivot points that help a driver get through the corner. They like them in a certain way, in a certain area. It's only a thousandth of an inch or two, but a lot of people have been changing them in recent weeks.
I like drilling the car into the corners a little deeper than most, I guess. And when we talk about changing the pivot points, we're only talking like that much, an 1/8 of an inch, 1/16 of an inch, but, it just didn't feel good to me. And now, we've picked the program up quite a bit, and the cars are feeling so much better. I'm really looking forward to the second half of the year.
It is expensive, but it pays off in the long run, for the sponsorship and things like that. For us to run up front or try to run up front. But it's working to our advantage, I think, to get him the same feel. I think he's kind of narrowed it down now to which car he really likes, and it's showing on the racetrack too. It seemed like he was struggling at the first of the year, but he really wasn't. We was trying a lot of different things to satisfy him and myself, but hopefully now we can work with one car and get him going.
Something a lot of fans, I think, always wonder, Chuck Bound, when people talk, drivers like you talk about a car that drives good, that doesn't drive good. How much difference is there in a race car?
Well, there's subtle differences, no doubt about it. You try to keep up with the times, and when they come out with new engineered chassis, and, you try to keep up with the times, so you get them out. Maybe you're not as successful. That happened to me a few years ago in 1990. We couldn't lose. In 91, we couldn't win, so we had went to the new chassis. So we went out back and got an old car we hadn't used for a while and put it all back together and brought it out and won the first race with it. So sometimes modern technology is not as good as the old stuff.
It all depends on what feels right to the driver, what they can use to get the car around the track quicker. I want you to check out NASCAR online before, during, and after each race. The address is http://www.nascar.com. Your 24-hour NASCAR Garage Pass. All the information you need. Green should be coming out next time by. Looks as though they've turned the lights out on the pace car, and the Busch Series starter waving that yellow flag, telling everybody to line them up single file. We should be set to go next time by. Nathan Butke will move up on the outside. Very few cars a lap down at this point, so other than Butke on the outside, they're up by David Green. Should be pretty much a single file restart. Mark Green back up to second. What do you think is going to happen now? Second segment of the race about to come.
It'll be interesting to see if Mark can keep up with David without any cars between them now on this restart. And for those Larry Pearson fans, he's still in the pits. His problems are pretty serious. They're still working on it, but he's going many laps down now.
David Green bringing them slowly out of turn 4. This will be lap 29 of 250. We're back underway. And again, David Green very strong to the front. Butke trying to come down low here, it looked like, for a moment, and maybe tuck in behind David Green. But Mark Green closed that door on him pretty quick.
Yeah, Mark didn't quite get the restart I don't think he was looking for, but fortunately Nathan Butke was a gentleman down there in turn 1 and kind of left the inside open for Green to get up there and run after David.
The Buzz McCall-owned Chevrolet of David Green, very, very stout here today. First 6 cars have strung it out. One car a little bit off the pace. Looks like the 51 of Jim Bound up to the high group.
Yeah, that's brother Jim. I'm not sure what happened. It looks like he just lost power. It's just not going. It's too bad. He had a good car today. I think he's running in 6th position.
You had a lot of laps, I know, practicing that car, helping him get it set up. Randy Pemberton, what's the story down there?
Initial report is that they have lost the oil pressure in the 51 car, Chuck.
That's too bad. They may have possibly lost an oil pump belt or something.
Good battle a little bit further back in the pack. This around 17th, 18th spot. You've got Chad Little in the 23, Jeff Fuller in the 47, still trying to run high. Shane Hall there in the 85, who ended his race at Nazareth a few weeks ago, sliding on his roof, a picture that many of us won't forget for a long time. And Tommy Houston, the ageless warrior of the Busch Grand National Series in the Suburban Propane Ford, right up there. Meantime, we ride along with Phil Parsons in car number 10, the Genelec Chevrolet. He's trying to tuck in behind Magic Shoes Mike McLaughlin, another driver, Chuck, who you thought would be a very strong contender here today. As we've got more trouble on the backstretch, we'll show you that in just a moment. We ride along meantime with Phil Parsons. Right in front of him, that's Bobby Dotter's car, who loops coming off of turn 2. He gets up on the back pit road without any problem.
Yeah, I believe the car just got into the back end of him and turned him around, but we're still going green. Nothing's happened.
So Bobby Dotter in the Tar Babies car gets that pointed in the right direction as well. He was running 22nd at the time of that spin. Meantime, David Green remains your leader, and the battle a little further back in the pack now. This would be for 4th and 5th and 6th positions. You've got Rodney Combs, Dennis Setzer, right behind him, Jeff Green in the 3 cars. They battle for 3rd now, and Setzer to the inside to make the move.
Yeah, he got a good run off turn 2. He was able to keep his car real low, and Rodney had to slide up the racetrack. There's not near as much grip when you slide up coming off turn 2. It looks like Jeff Green's going to come right with him.
Dennis Setzer, that Lipton T4, the Aiken Sutton Motorsports car. They've been trying to find the combination this year. Jeff Green comes by as well, so he'll power up into the 4th spot. Rodney Combs stuck on the outside. Jeff Purvis, it looks like, will get by, too.
Yeah, I think Rodney will be able to get down after Jeff Purvis there and protect that inside again. But obviously, his car's not running quite like he'd like it to. He started out running 2nd. Now he's falling back just a little bit.
For you Larry Pearson fans, he is off pit road and back on the racetrack many, many laps down. Let's look at another battle a little further back in the pack now. Looks like a race for around 16th, 17th spot. Still Chad Little and Shane Hall in there. Todd Bodine in the 81 in the thick of that as well. Mike Harmon in the black 24 car. Drivers who are on the gas, nicely splitting to get around Harmon. As we take a look from our blimp today, provided by Kroger, the Spirit of America with us today. Let's go back and show you what happened in that 2nd turn spin that involved the 55 of Bobby Dotters. They came off, too.
Now, I believe that's the 31 car, Dale Earnhardt Jr., getting into the 55 car of Bobby Dotter just a little bit. But that incident didn't bring out a yellow. We just kept going green.
Battle again for 18th spot. Todd Bodine making his way up through the field today. Remember that Todd did not qualify the car. He was just coming down today from Michigan, where he'll run the Winston Cup event tomorrow, starting back in 25th spot, and he's on the move. Phil Parsons, meantime, as we ride with Phil in 20th position, directly behind that battle.
Yeah, actually, that's a confusing story. I think Todd was here yesterday.
That's right.
Qualified the Busch car. Somebody else qualified his Winston Cup car, or Bill Elliott's Winston Cup car. And then Todd disappeared this morning to get some practice in up there, but now he's back.
Brad, 2nd round qualifying in Michigan, back to race here today and doing very nicely. We're live at Myrtle Beach. We've got a lot more for you after this. Welcome back to Myrtle Beach Speedway. Pictures today provided by the folks at Kroger and the Spirit of Atlanta blimp, the world's largest airship. They're donating the use of this to the City of Atlanta Police Department for security during the Summer Olympics. They're giving us some great shots from Myrtle Beach Speedway here this afternoon. Closing in on 50 laps complete. It's been a David Green benefit show so far. He's led all the way off the pole, and that would be the first fifth of the race if we get to 50. 46 on the board at the moment. Good battle, though, a little bit further back. Rodney Combs had been up as high as second early in the going, but he is backpedaling quickly, back to 19th already. Meantime, Mike McLaughlin trying to get going and get up around the 10 car of Phil Parsons. He made that move a long time ago. Parsons unable to get by McLaughlin now, as they've been nose to tail for quite a while.
Now, it looks like Phil's able to keep his car a little bit lower, as we could see from the in-car shot there. I think he's going to get by Mike here pretty quick.
Seems to be able to stick down low. What we've seen so far, that is the preferred way to get around here. If you can keep your car down on that inside lane, maybe even cut the inside painted stripe a little bit on down in turn 1, that seems to be much quicker.
Yeah, they're cutting that stripe a lot. In fact, they'll probably almost be in the dirt before the day's over.
Phil Parsons at the moment being shown in 17th spot. Mike McLaughlin directly in front of him, as the leader continues to be David Green here at Myrtle Beach. A couple of notes to pass on to you. Larry Pearson back on the track. We mentioned that the 92 car had gotten all the service it needed on pit road. He is 30 laps behind at this point. Shane Hall, the 85 car, he slowed down on the track a while back. He's been black flagged for smoking, brought onto pit road. Should be back on the track. Such a big field here today, 34 cars. NASCAR decided to pit 6 of the teams on the backstretch, although they're taking pains to make sure that the cars do get a fair shake, that those cars pitting back there will get dropped off at the right point, at the right speed as they come onto the backstretch during caution. Let's take a look here. Phil Parsons dropped off the pace a little.
Yeah, he's trying to get a run at 34 car Mike McLaughlin. Oh, he tapped him a little bit, and he backed off, did the gentleman thing, let McLaughlin straighten it up and get going again.
Phil Parsons being shown in 16th spot. McLaughlin right in front of him in 15th. Randy LaJoie has come back. He's up to 14th now in the FINA car, the number 74, the defending series championship team. Mike McLaughlin trying to get going there as well. Field standing update now brought to you by Napa Auto Parts. At Napa, we keep America running. Purvis nicely into 4th over Setzer and Markham now, as we'll take you back, show you where your favorite driver is running. Hermie Sadler, a driver many people thought would have a great shot today, up into 9th. And Buckshot Jones with a good move up to 8th. LaJoie being shown 12th at this point. Meantime, Mark Green in the 37th car closing the door in on his brother David.
Yeah, we've run quite a few laps since that last restart, and Mark Green is pretty much hanging right with David. And another Green's in 3rd place. It's Green 1, 2, 3.
Now that would be quite a story. Many, many brother acts, of course, in motorsports. Chuck, you and your brother Jim have raced against each other many times, but for 3 to finish 1, 2, 3, that would be an amazing story. Now, Randy LaJoie up to challenge Mike McLaughlin there, and Phil Parsons as that battle takes shape. LaJoie shown 14th. McLaughlin has gotten by him, as has Parsons, so that should kick LaJoie back to 16th spot. Mike McLaughlin now up to 14th, and those drivers trying to work their way up through the field as we move closer and closer to the 100-lap mark here today.
You can really see Phil Parsons accelerate away from Randy LaJoie. He's getting off the corner quite a bit better than Randy. This track is so hard to set up for. It's just if you tighten your car up to where it'll accelerate off the corner, then it won't turn through the middle of the corner, and it's just a big compromise. And it seems like the harder you drive the car, the slower you go. So you really just got to be patient. Take it easy with that race car.
Patience is a virtue in this sport and at this track at this time. 55 laps in it. Just to update you on this, Mike McLaughlin started 26th. Phil Parsons started 28th, and they're up running in 13th and 14th spots now. Randy Pemberton, what's the situation in the FINA pit area?
Well, it's tough to watch these guys. I talked to crew chief Steve Byrd. I said, what's the problem? He said, we're loose. But there's nothing you can do about it. You have the chassis set up that's underneath the car, and that's the way it starts when the green flag drops. Nothing you can do about it. You can't come down and change tires under caution like you can on Winston Cup cars. So they're going to have to wait for a while to catch that caution in the right time frame and make some adjustments to LaJoie's car. Back up front.
I would think if you were loose at this point, that would be the last thing you'd want to be early in a race here.
Yeah, that's true. And really, there's not much you can do. You can enter the corners a little bit lower to try to make the center of the turn a little bit sharper so that it doesn't slide sideways as far. And just be real easy with that gas pedal trying to accelerate off the corners, but you fall behind. Right now, Randy's got to worry about staying on the lead lap. David Green continues as your leader in the Caterpillar 95. Mark Green in the Timberwolf Chevrolet, the 37. Right behind him in second spot. And Jeff McClure in the Bobby Jones Ford. A little loose there as the leader bears down on him in turn 3. Yeah, they're just starting to catch these cars here to lap them. Boy, these guys hate to go down a lap so early in the race, but it's going to happen. The 95 car is flat hauling the mail today.
David Green with a very, very good combination. Butch Enders leads that crew, and they've done a terrific job putting the race car under Green here today. Bucky in the 66, the white car there. He is a lap down at this point. Mark Green right up underneath David into turn 3.
Taking a look for the lead there. Give his brother a little hello.
Just want to let you know I'm back here. As we take you topside in the Kroger Spirit of Atlanta blimp, providing our aerial pictures here today.
And now we can see Jeff Green getting right into it, too. They've got one lap car, Nathan Bucky, that's real strong, running real good, but he's down laps from making a green flag pit stop. Well, it looks like we've got a 3-car race, a 3-green race for this lead.
Sure does. David Green trying to get around Jeff McClure in turn 3, and he's been very loose as McClure. David Green not quite enough to get around them as they come onto the main straightaway.
Now that outside, like I said earlier, it's a tough way to go here, and McClure is not wanting to give up the lead lap, but I think he's going to have to.
Nathan Bucky also a lap down, but trying to get his lap back. Now Jeff Green in the Earnhardt Family 3, the Goodwrench car right up in there as well, but David Green beats back that challenge and maintains the top spot. Battle for second continuing to develop now. Jeff Green right behind Mark. The two Green brothers in the 37 and the 3 duking it out for second spot with lap traffic directly ahead.
This is kind of where you have to be patient, those guys. You know, we've got a couple lap cars they're dealing with. They're racing for second position, trying to catch the leader, but you don't want to make a mistake here that'll ruin your whole day. You just kind of got to bide your time. There's a lot of racing left today.
A lot of racing indeed. We've got 62 laps on the board, about 188 to go here at Myrtle Beach Speedway. We're live on TNN Motorsports. Much more to come after this. Welcome back to Myrtle Beach Speedway in South Carolina. Rick Benjamin, Chuck Bound, Randy Pemberton with you today live on TNN Motorsports. David Green continues to show the way. Rodney Combs, who started up front here this afternoon, started third, just went a lap down, so that means the leaders have lapped up to, what, 20th, 21st spot, Chuck.
Yeah, David Green's setting a tremendous pace, and the next car in front of him right now is the guy who's racing for the point championship, Randy LaJoie. So Randy's having his difficulties, too, falling back loose.
Jeff Green, meantime, just made his way by Mark Green to take over second spot. Mark Green, who started outside row 1, came back and dropped back initially, but came back to get the second. Now he has been passed by brother Jeff. So the 3 Green brothers still occupying the first 3 spots, but Jeff Green in the Earnhardt Family Chevrolet, the black number 3, up to second. You're looking at your leader, David Green, the Caterpillar 95, leading the Busch Series point standings now. Nathan Bucky, since coming in for tires, he's hung right up there with the leaders, too. He's got a very fast car. This, though, the battle for 7th, 8th, and 9th spot. Hermie Sadler in car number 1, Jason Keller in the 57 car. Also in that Curtis Markham in the 63 has been very strong there.
Yeah, it looks like 88 cars creeping up in there, too. That's a 4-car race there for that position.
And Dennis Setzer in the 38, Patty Moise there in the 14, Markham in the 63. I believe Patty Moise might be a lap down by now. If I'm not mistaken by my chart. She was passed by David Green again a little bit ago, but Dennis Setzer started for him. He's right up in there.
63 car was a couple positions ahead of where he is right now. I think he's fallen back a couple, but Hermie and the 57, Jason Keller, they're coming on up there pretty good.
The 63 car, the Lysol automobile, the Pontiac of Curtis Markham being shown in 7th spot. And now Jeff Green about to make a move on David Green, and he takes the lead. So Jeff Green puts the Goodwrench Chevrolet up into the top spot, and now Bucky takes the 66 car by the 95 as well. Now remember, the 66 is a lap behind, but he just got by the former leader, David Green, and he's trying to get up on Jeff Green, maybe get back on the lead lap, catch a caution, and be right back in the thick of this. He's got a fast race car.
Yeah, he does. The problem is he finally got by David Green, but now he's still not in front of the leader because Jeff Green went by them both. But Jeff seems to be the best when the tires are really getting bad, because that's where we're at right now. We've run 75 laps and the tires are bad.
Jeff Green has led only a dozen laps before this season, still looking for his first career Busch Grand National Series victory, and he's doing a great job in that race car here this afternoon.
He's due for that victory, no doubt about it. He's run good, you know, for a long time in that black number 3. And I just can't hardly believe he hasn't been to victory lane yet.
3 greens, 1, 2, and 3. The Nathan Bucky automobile, the lap car sitting second in the line as we take a look down into turn 1 from our vantage point, high atop the Spirit of Atlanta from Kroger. And a good battle. Again, we've been watching that fight between Jason Keller in the 57 for 9th and the 88 car running in the 10th spot. And that has been a terrific battle for a long time. Phil Parsons is right in there as well. He's moved up to 13th. Mike McLaughlin in front of him in 12th spot as those cars race down into turn number 1.
Right now, they're turning those steering wheels and just not much happening. The car just slides. You really got to be careful and use some finesse to try to get around this racetrack.
The 88 car belongs to Kevin LePage, of course. There's Randy Porter in the 48. He's running along with McLaughlin there in the 34.
Now their Phil just tapped the 50 car. They're lapping him. He didn't really want to waste any time or tires on him, so he had to go.
Jeff Green now setting the pace here at Myrtle Beach as we take you through the field. LePage sitting 10th with Keller and Sadler right in front of him. You've got some very strong cars in that top 10 after the first 70 laps of competition here this afternoon. And so far, very few cars have been in for tires.
No, they haven't. I think right now they're kind of wishing for a caution. They don't want to be a part of it, but they'd like to see one. And it's time to come in and get that first set of tires. But, you know, it's really tightening up in that big pack right there. There's a lot of cars running for like 5th through 10th, but they're all pretty equal right now, slipping and sliding like crazy.
Leader continues to be Jeff Green in the Good Wrench Chevrolet. We take a look back at Tommy Houston riding along in his car number 6. Houston, a veteran here, being shown 11th, and he's doing a great job this afternoon. They've had some problems this year, but looks like Tommy Houston is very racy today.
Yeah, he's not out of it by any means. There's a long way to go in this race, and Tommy knows what it takes to do well in a race like this today.
Bill Parsons trying to get up on Mike McLaughlin. Those two have advanced through the field. Remember, they started back in the 13th, 14th row here this afternoon, 26th and 28th, and they're up now knocking on the door of the top 10. At this point, Parsons being shown in 13th, McLaughlin in 12th. Randy Porter right in front of him in the 48 car. Meantime, driver who's second in the Busch Series point standings, Randy LaJoie, just getting lapped here by Jeff Green. What does that do to his race strategy?
Well, all they can do is just keep running and keep digging and hopefully get an opportunity later on in this race when he has a set of tires to get that lap back. But I think a lot more good cars are going to get lapped before this one's over. Those guys up front are setting a good pace.
Would you ride with that car, or would you maybe around lap 100 just come in and get tires under Green?
Boy, that's a hard call. Birdie'd have to make that decision, the crew chief on the 74 car. But if you come in, sure enough, a caution will come out and you'll really be behind. But if you don't come in, you're probably going to go a second lap down real quick, too, because you're getting so loose. That's a tough call.
That is the team, of course, which won the Busch Series title last year with Johnny Benson Jr. in the saddle. Randy LaJoie trying to make it 2 titles in a row. He's won 2 of the last 3 Busch Grand National events, but today he's struggling indeed. Jeff Green continues as your leader in the Good Wrench Chevrolet, car number 3. Now, Dale Earnhardt Jr. running as his teammate today. We'll tell you more about how he's doing after an early spin when we come back to Myrtle Beach Speedway after this timeout on TNN. 90 laps complete at Myrtle Beach Speedway. Jeff Green showing the way in the Good Wrench Chevrolet, car number 3, putting Todd Bodine a lap down in the Cape Canaveral Cruise Ford, the 81 car. Green in the 3. I checked that up. Sorry, Todd Bodine drives a Chevrolet in this series. We were talking about his Ford ride in Winston Cup racing at the moment, but that's a Chevrolet, as is this car that's being piloted by the leader. And Jeff Green has done a terrific job. Now, remember that Jeff Green started back in the 6th spot today, has come to the lead. A couple of other drivers really on the move as well, and we'll tell you a little more about their stories as we move closer to the 100-lap mark. And still, pit road has been pretty quiet. Now, this is a battle we're going to show you for 7th. We've got Jason Keller right behind Curtis Markham as they battle for 7th spot. And Markham holding off Keller at this point as we take a look at the leaders and some of the drivers who've moved up a long way here.
Looks like Curtis turned his car a little bit loose off turn 4. I know the tires are really getting worn. It's awfully hard to keep the cars going straight when you're trying to put that gas down. In fact, he just slipped up quite a bit there in turn 1.
Getting around Marty Ward, who had problems earlier. Don't know if you caught it there as we showed you the top 5. The driver who's really on the move, Glenn Allen Jr., and we'll talk a little more about him. In the Luxair car, the 99 up to 3rd. He started 23rd here this afternoon. He has gained 20 spots in less than 100 laps. We watch Keller continuing to ride. Doug Hebron in the 75 just in front of him.
Glenn Allen probably feels at home here in this racetrack. He's run a lot like this in his background and his roots.
The 75 car piloted by Doug Hebron Jr. right in there alongside Curtis Markham's automobile. Hebron being scored back in 29th. He is a couple of laps down at this point, so not a battle for position there. Markham just riding, trying to hang on in 7th position. He's got Mike McLaughlin right behind him. McLaughlin, another driver who has moved up nicely. McLaughlin started way back in 26th. He's up to 8th right now. 9th make that behind Jason Keller there in the 57th.
See, they're even having a hard time with the lap cars right now. They just have so limited grip right now, slipping and sliding all over the racetrack, and really no one can gain on anybody right now. They're just kind of fighting them and hanging on and hoping for caution.
Look how high Randy LaJoie just went up there in turn 2. We take a look back at the 95 car of David Green, led the first 50 laps, and Glenn Allen Jr. really on a roll. He just blew by David Green going into the last corner there.
Well, that is pretty strong. He's pretty smooth. He's keeping a good line. He's up to 2nd position. I'm impressed.
Glenn Allen Jr. currently in that second spot. His best finish of the year so far, a 7th at Nashville back in March, but he leads the rookie point standings on the Busch Grand National Tour this season. First start here at Myrtle Beach, veteran of the ASA Stock Car Wars. You've seen him on TNN many, many times, and doing a terrific job today in the Jackson & Johnson car, the 99 car that Bill Hafke oversees in this series. And look at him pull away from David Green.
Yeah, pulling away, and he's almost in the dirt like I was talking about down there in turn 2. But it's working for him. He's going fast. He's passed a lot of race cars in this long green flag run.
Jeff Green continues to be your leader in car number 3, and now Glenn Allen Jr. trying to get up and make a move on him. About a quarter of a racetrack separating those two right now. David Green and Mark Green battling for 3rd at the moment, so that all-green top 3 we talked about many, many times, that's been broken up just a little bit now. Randy Porter there right behind David Green. Mark Green a little further back in 4th spot. Jeff Purvis now, and Dennis Setzer in the 38. That's a battle for 5th position as they work around some lap traffic as well. Shane Hall right in the middle of that mix-up.
Yeah, there again, they're tiptoeing around Shane Hall on the outside, which is not the preferred line, but Shane's giving him quite a bit of room, holding his car nice and low. And Dennis Setzer's going to try to get by him, but boy, it's just slipping and sliding.
Purvis is 5th, Setzer is 6th. Purvis the winner in Richmond earlier this year. Setzer in the Aikens & Sutton 4th, 38 car, trying to get going and pick up his first win of the 1996 campaign.
All these guys right now have so much more motor that they can use, and it's so frustrating when you're accelerating off those corners. You just want to floor that thing and pass the guy in front of you, but if you just push it a little bit too hard, those back wheels start spinning, the back end of the car slides on out, and you don't go anywhere.
Setzer now drawing a B perhaps on Purvis as they come off of turn 2. We take you a little further back in the field. Kevin LePage there in the 88. Phil Parsons in the 10 car battling for 10th and 11th spot. Parsons scored 11th at the moment as we've just passed the 100 lap mark today here at Myrtle Beach. Battle back in the pack as we take a look at Larry Pearson, who spent 30 laps on pit road. We've got a spin up in turn 4. We'll show you that in just a moment. Jeff Green gets by. There's one car spun and hung on the wall, and it's Rodney Combs in the Richard Petty Pontiac, the Lance Snacks car. Rodney, who started 3rd on the day, has been backpedaling since the drop of the green, being shown 23rd at the moment. He'll lose some ground here as well as he is spun at the entrance to pit road. So the first caution in quite a while. We'll see how many of these drivers will decide to come on pit road. As we told you at the top of the broadcast, 2 sets of yellow flag tires allowed today.
Yeah, and they've already went 100 laps, so I about promise you everybody in the field will come into the pits. They did tell us in the drivers' meeting today that the pit road will be closed first time by. They're going to wait till the second time by to give everybody an opportunity to close up to the pace car and come in instead of being all strung out. But I think everybody on the lead lap will come in the first time when the pits open, and everybody else will come in the second time. They'll get 4 new tires.
Jeff Green is your leader at this point with 104 laps into the books this afternoon at Myrtle Beach Speedway. And Rodney Combs getting straightened back out in the Lance Snacks car. He no doubt will need tires as he moves alongside the 64. Dick Trickle arriving here from Michigan this afternoon and able to take over the seat in the Shoemaker car that he normally drives. Watch what happens here as Combs hits turn 4. Yeah, you can't really see.
Yeah, he's already going backward, I think, when he comes into view there. So it's hard to say. It doesn't take much of a tap to turn a guy around after 100 lap tires.
To show you one more look at it here. This is from
main car, Dick Trickle's car. Maybe Dick's gonna, yeah, maybe.
Maybe just a little help there.
Just a little tap.
in all seriousness, though, when you're following somebody like that and your tires have gone away, sometimes you can't do anything about it.
No, really, it's tough. I mean, it wasn't a hard hit. Rodney's going to come up and have a little talk to him right now, I think. But, you know, everybody's just slipping and sliding and hanging on, as I've said all day. And I'm not exaggerating. You cannot believe it. You can't imagine. Sometimes it's like driving on ice out there. It's just so slippery.
Jeff Green takes the field out of pit road. Leaders will get tires here. Green in the Goodwrench 3 will come to the attention of his crew. Glenn Allen Jr. running second. Jeff Purvis on pit road. Mark Green, Dennis Setzer, Jason Keller, Curtis Markham, Phil Parsons, Buckshot Jones will stop, as will Chet Little. The one-car Fermi Sadler. Let's go to Randy Pemberton.
Well, David Green, a point leader, is in. It's going to be a round of wedge, not to mention the fact it's going to be 4 tires. They thought they had a tire buildup on the right rear, which means the tire pressure really expanded a lot. It got up a little bit too high, so they're going to make that adjustment. That was the best practice session that these guys could have. Jeff Green goes by. He beats him out of the pits, the 99 car, and then David.
So Jeff Green reassumes the lead as they come out to fall in behind the pace car. Under caution at Myrtle Beach Speedway. Got a lot more to show you this afternoon. We're right back after this. In the Atlanta area, you'll want to race into the all-new and official store of NASCAR. NASCAR Thunder is at Gwinnett Place Mall in Atlanta. NASCAR Thunder is the official store of NASCAR, and we invite you to stop by. Under caution for the second time today, and some of the drivers have had a little difficulty on pit road. We were following the story of Dale Earnhardt Jr. making his first Busch Grand National Series start today in an Earnhardt family Chevrolet, the 31 car. He had advanced to 12th and was really flying low, but he lost a lap on pit road. He was held at the end of pit road, unable to get out in front of the pace car and keep his spot on the lead lap. A little nose damage to that car, too.
Yeah, he's been driving the wheels off, but, you know, he got a bad break when he spun early. I'm not sure what happened, what caused the spin, but he was last on the last restart that we had. And during that green flag stretch, he passed a lot of good race cars, worked his way up to 12th position, and he was in no danger of going down a lap. But now he has gone down a lap in the pits, and that's a shame.
Being shown 16th at the moment. We'll check on that and see if he only lost 4 spots, although the lap is much more critical to his chances here today. As we told you at the top of the broadcast, he ran a 100-lap late model stock car event here earlier this afternoon, finished 4th in that race, and now is buckled in for 250 laps here in the heat, making his first Busch Series start. Had a chance to visit with Dale Jr. yesterday. A very impressive young man, expects to make racing his career, try to follow in the footsteps of his famous father and grandfather and make it a third generation of Earnhardts, perhaps in the Winston Cup Series in the years to come. Jeff Green, meantime, in the Earnhardt family car, the Good Wrench 3. Your restart leader. Pace car is in. We're set to go green on lap 108. And on the outside, Jeff Fuller, first of the lap cars. Jeff Green up through the gears into turn 1.
Perspective might change a little bit here from what we were seeing earlier. With 4 new tires, it's hard to say who might be stronger.
David Green had taken second spot as they came to the restart. I thought Glenn Allen Jr. had gotten off pit road ahead of him, but the officials apparently putting David up into second for the restart there. So Jeff and David Green 1 and 2 as we go racing once again here in Myrtle Beach. And a spin up in turn 1. Fuller gets crossed up. He twists and turns. Everybody gets by. Lots of smoke, but no contact from what we can see. Fuller gets in gear and pointed in the right direction off of turn 2.
They did throw the yellow finally, but that was some great evasive driving from a whole lot of cars because Jeff Fuller was in the 3rd position and spun out in front of the whole pack there.
Your worst nightmare down into turn 1 with everybody behind you to lose it, right?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, you don't know what to do. If you slam your brake on to give yourself time to make a left or a right at the last second, you get hit from behind and then you're in it. So it's just a tough call, but everybody's spotter was working good. The drivers were heads up, and everybody got through it clean.
Bill Parsons waving to everyone behind him, and the Channel Lock Chevrolet field reshuffling there. We didn't get much green flag time at all before the spin by Fuller down into on. We're under yellow again, 110 laps on the board at Myrtle Beach. We'll be back in a moment. Green for a lap, caution again because this guy, Jeff Fuller, lost it going into turn 1 in the Sunoco Chevrolet. Chuck, what do you think happened here?
Well, he's in 3rd position on the track there. He drives into the corner. Boy, it just comes around on him. Looks like, I don't know, maybe he got on the brakes a little bit too hard. Maybe he hit a slippery spot on the racetrack. That thing come around awful quick. He wasn't touched, though. It was just a single incident. Fortunately, everybody rode down and missed him.
Shows you how good these Busch Series drivers are at car control. We take another look at it from up top of the grandstands. Look at him just point that thing in low and go right around with it, lock him up.
You know, he has new tires on. Maybe the air pressure was pretty low on him for a long green flag stretch, and maybe they just didn't get the adhesion that he was hoping for.
One more look from our camera outside 1 and 2, and just a simple overcooking there.
It just looks like his car's a little too loose. And it went around on him, which is pretty easy to do, believe it or not.
Everybody with a great job to get by, and Fuller got it pointed in the right direction as well, and he's back on the racetrack too. Our TNN Salute to Motorsports at Opryland is coming up very soon, June 26th through the 30th of this year. For more information, the number to call, 615-889-6611, weekdays. So give them a call, make some reservations, get to Opryland for our TNN Salute to Motorsports. Ready to go green, 113 laps complete. This will start lap 114. Green flag waving. Jeff Green, your restart leader. David Green and Glenn Allen Jr. right behind into turn 1.
Todd Bodine on the outside, 1 lap down. He's going to try to get his lap back, I'm sure, but I don't think his car just quite has it today.
Jeff Green pulling away, and David Green getting by Todd Bodine as well. Nathan Butke's car still in there.
Yeah, he's still wishing and hoping to get by those Green brothers and get back in the lead lap with his car, because he's had a good car all day, but he just had a flat tire early in the race.
The guy who really was on the charge, Glenn Allen Jr. in the Luxair 99. You see him up there behind Butke, the black car, giving Butke a little knock on the back bumper off of turn 2. He had come from 20th to 3rd spot, but now he's going to get passed on the outside, it looks like, as they race down into the corner.
Well, Tim Theda was taking a look, but I don't think he's going to be able to get the job done. The 99 car is pretty fast.
See to another driver hoping for a good finish certainly here today, but not on the lead lap at this point. This, though, the race for the lead, and here's David Green on fresh rubber, making a run at his brother.
That's a good example why he won the pole here and why he's won so many poles in his career. He's really strong on a new set of tires, but if that 3-car can just keep him in sight until these tires start to give up, he might have the advantage. But I'm not sure. Maybe David made an adjustment that's going to make his car a little better in the long run this time. I don't know.
Since radial tires came into play a couple of seasons back, we've heard a lot of talk about how just 1 pound of air pressure can make all the difference.
They're sensitive. They really are. Sometimes you can bolt on a new set with identical air pressure as you started with, and the car will perform a little bit differently. It's just like anything else. You can't make them absolutely identical all the time.
Your leader now, David Green, started on the pole, led the first 50 or so laps here today, gave way to Jeff Green. Now he's recaptured the top spot. Glenn Allen third, Purvis and Setzer rounding out your top 5. And I call, I think, to Dennis Setzer today, too. They have struggled this year with that Ford, the Lipton T car, and he's running a nice fifth here this afternoon. A little further back in the pack, got the fight for 8th and 9th spot. Jason Keller in the 57th car. You got the 00, Buckshot Jones, Dick Trickle, meantime, right in there as well. In the Duraloop 64, he's being shown in 10th at this point. And Trickle with a great drive, and we've got trouble right in front of him. Spin coming off to it again. It's Jeff Fuller in the 47 car who goes around. And another car, looks like Randy LaJoie is involved in that one, too. A couple of the New Englanders in the NASCAR Busch Grand National Series. LaJoie gets it pointed in the right direction. I'm sure he would have taken tires on, too, on that last pit stop.
Yeah, I'm sure he did. I'm not sure exactly who got into who there, but somebody went around, and one car even come down pit road to miss the wreck. I believe it was Tommy Houston.
Take a look here, coming off of 2. Looks as though Keller may have gotten into Fuller a little there.
Yeah, he sure did. Jason Keller nudges Fuller. Fuller's a lap down, and Keller's on the lead lap. He's probably wanting to get going. And I don't know what happened to Randy. I would imagine he probably seen it happening. He probably checked up and got hit from behind himself. That's what I was talking about earlier. That's so easy to do. You see trouble, you know you got to slow down to see where to go, and you get hit from behind, and then you're right in it.
Boy, Jeff Fuller would like to take the middle 50 laps of this one and just forget about him and start all over. He and Randy LaJoie both spinning. Everyone gets pointed in the right direction. They were running 18th and 19th at the time. So we are back under caution at Myrtle Beach. More after this. Trying to get by him. We'll see if we can find out what's wrong with Hebron. I see some smoke out on the back of the 75 car, so he may have motor problems that could cause a problem. Randy Pemberton, what's the story down there?
He was just in heavy traffic. He bounced off the wall. He now has a tire rub, but he feels as though he has a flat right rear tire, and that must be the case because he's crawling down the backstretch.
So Doug Hebron onto pit road with a cut-down tire. The smoke from the tire, not from the motor, although he was off the pace. Your leaders up in 1 and 2. David Green in the 95, Jeff Green in the 3. It's been their show much of the way today. Glenn Allen Jr. a nice 3rd. And your Stanley mid-race recap as we pass halfway. A couple of leaders so far with 2 lead changes averaging just under 70 miles an hour. We've had 4 cautions for 18 laps. The Stanley Tools mid-race report brought to you by Stanley. Since 1843, Stanley has been helping people do things right. 2 cars shown out. Jim Bound and Bobby Dotter so far, the 2 on the sidelines. We started 34. 32 left for the second half of the 250-lap chase here today at Myrtle Beach Speedway. The Carolina Pride Advanced Auto Parts 250 live on CNN Motorsports. The Caterpillar Chevrolet and the Goodwrench Chevrolet have really shared the lead so far all afternoon. Right now, David Green on those fresh tires, Chuck, really starting to check out.
Yeah, just exactly as he did at the start of the race, but I think that 3 car is keeping him in sight pretty good.
Good battle back here for 6th. Dennis Setzer in the 38, running 6th. Mark Green in the 37, who started outside the pole, in the 7th. Jason Keller in the 57, running 8th. They're nose to tail.
They're all pretty tight. I'm not sure if Mark Green got back there with a slow pit stop or if his car is backed up on him a little bit. He's been good all day long, but now it looks like he's kind of on a par with Jason Keller and Dennis Setzer. He's doing his best to just stay in the middle there.
This battle for 6th, 7th, and 8th. Once again, Dennis Setzer started 4th. Has slid back a couple of spots, but he's hung right in there today. Mark Green, who started 2nd, back right behind him in 7th, and the 8th spot belongs to Keller in the Slim Jim car. The 57, see Dale Earnhardt Jr. there in the 31. Got a look at him. Right ahead of Buckshot Jones and Bill Parsons as they fight it out for 10th and 11th. And we've got another situation developing up in turn 2 as we ride with Bill Parsons. Jeff McClure in the Bobby Jones 4, the Health Source UAW car, pounded the wall up in turn 2. He's going to come to a stop, and that undoubtedly will bring out another caution here on the Speedway.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he's going to drive that back to the garage. He's going to have to be towed.
McClure has done a lot of racing in ARCA in recent years. He's made a few Busch Series starts. You saw his best previous finish was back in 1988 in Virginia, Hampton, at Langley Speedway. He was running 26th here this afternoon. And 134 laps into the books. We're back under caution today at Myrtle Beach Speedway as the field slows down behind the pace car once again. McClure did a lot of damage to the right side of that car, so he'll undoubtedly be done for the afternoon. Meantime, a lot of drivers, very, very interesting stories to tell on the Busch Series trail. Time today for our Pep Boys driver profile. Pep Boys for quality parts, tires, and service as well. Your leader continues to be David Gray, and let's meet our Pep Boys driver profile. Roy Buckshot Jones is 25 years old. He made his Busch Series debut last July at Milwaukee. And like many involved in NASCAR racing, he got his start through a family connection.
My dad raced just a little bit back in the early 60s or the late 60s, and I've always wanted to race. A guy across the street from where my uncle's office is, he had a race car, Billy McGinnis, and my dad just happened to stop by there one day, and I've been asking him to let me race, and he would never let me do it. And then finally, he just said, heck, if you want to go do it on the weekends, we'll get a car. And we went. The third race we were at, we won. I don't know, it's like more and more of the family got involved, and it just went further than we expected. But I knew after the first race, that's what I wanted to do. I mean, racing, I love it. There's nothing like it.
Nothing like it indeed. Our Pep Boys driver profile today, Roy Buckshot Jones. The Aquafresh 00 came up through the All-Pro Series ranks, and here in the Busch Series doing a nice job making his first start at Myrtle Beach. Got the nickname from his granddaddy, and we'll talk a little more about that maybe later if we have a moment. But you have to like a 25-year-old driver like that. Chuck Bound is doing a nice job in that 00 car.
Yeah, he's learned a lot. Ricky Pearson's keeping him straight, I think, he's trying to.
134 laps into the books. We're still under caution. We're back after this. Welcome back to Myrtle Beach Speedway. We get a look at the Spirit of Atlanta airship from Kroger, flying high over the Speedway today. In Myrtle Beach this weekend, visiting Fantasy Harbor and providing our aerial pictures today of the Carolina Pride Advanced Auto Parts 250, and we hope you're enjoying our broadcast here on TNN Motorsports. Randy Pemberton on pit road. Busy place down there.
Well, it has been busy. Dale Earnhardt Jr. has been in. He had a little damage on the nose of that car and the hood. They worked on that. He's back out, still one lap down. Randy LaJoie continues to struggle. His car is overheating. They came in with a deep cut saw kit, drilled about 6 holes in the front of LaJoie's car. Also, he feels as if the rear end is askew in the car. It seems to be there for a few laps, then it's not there. So LaJoie's problems continue.
Second place of the Busch Series point standings at the moment belong to Randy LaJoie. He and David Green have had quite a fight going, and they've got a couple of hundred points on the nearest pursuer, so he's not in much danger of falling out of second spot, but not the kind of day that Randy LaJoie wanted to have today. Ready to put out the green flag one more time here on lap 136, and David Green and the Caterpillar Chevrolet on the inside will lead him to green. He's got Jeff Green right behind him in the Goodwrench Chevrolet, and Jeff Purvis is up to third now in the number 4 car, the David Lee Murphy Chevrolet. 139 laps complete. We're green and going once again here at Myrtle Beach. Glenn Allen Jr. sits fourth in the black Luxair car. Jeff Green trying to hold off Jeff Purvis. There's Glenn Allen Jr., who's done a terrific job today. Started back way back in the field this afternoon when we got this thing going, back in 23rd spot. Run as high as second here this afternoon, sitting fourth at the moment.
Purvis is looking pretty aggressive here on this restart. He's getting right up on the back bumper of Jeff Green, looking for second place.
Now we're riding with Phil Parsons, who's being scored in 11th spot. Meantime, right in front of him, you saw the 64 of Dick Trickle. Trickle started with a provisional today, hadn't practiced the car at all. He's up to 9th. We take a ride in the Duraloop car as well. He's trying to work his way by the lap car Rodney Combs there. Trickle on a march that might put him in the top 5 before much longer.
Yeah, he hadn't made a single lap in the car this entire weekend until this race actually started, so it's pretty impressive, especially to come from Michigan where you're running 190 miles an hour, and all of a sudden you're on a little half mile running 90 miles an hour. But Dick's a crafty old veteran. He knows what it's all about.
More than 50 years young Dick Trickle is, and you know his story from the Midwest. Won more than 500 features campaigning on the short tracks of Wisconsin and throughout the Midwest before coming south several years ago. We take a look back a little further. Mark Green in the 37 car, the 57 of Jason Keller. Now that is the battle for 7th. Directly in front of him, you see Tim Feeder's 40 car. He's a lapped automobile at this point, but a good battle for 7th and 8th there. Keller in the 57 car. Had a couple of problems today, too. He's been around once, I think, here this afternoon, but he's gotten back going in the right direction and doing a nice job. And Mark Green making his first Myrtle Beach start, running a limited schedule this year of the Timberwolves Chevrolet. Keller up behind him as they come up into turn number 3. Feeder right in front of those 2 cars. Dennis Setzer directly in front as well in the 38, running 6th at the moment. Shane Hall, who's had some problems this afternoon. He's out of the groove and slowing way down.
Mason Keller just got a good run at Mark Green in the 37 to take the spot. These restarts are a little frustrating because the double file on some of those lap cars are pretty good on new tires, but they kind of get in your way a little bit and frustrate you. Here's
riding with Dick Trickle in the Duraloop car. He is 9th. Phil Parsons directly behind him in 10th. And car number 10 in the Channel Lock car as we look off the roof of the Channel Lock Chevrolet ahead and Trickle down as they race through turns 1 and 2 and up onto the back straightaway. Cars are running about 21, 22 seconds here at race pace, I guess. Pretty quick around this half-mile Myrtle Beach Oval.
Yeah, the amazing thing is they qualified down below 20-second bracket. Doesn't take them very long to get up into the 22-second bracket. They'll lose 2 seconds in a short run here. It's just so abrasive on the tires.
Directly behind Parsons, you see the John Deere car of Chad Little. He was up to 9th off that restart, but he's backslid a couple of spots now. They've really been hunting for it, too. Had their first top 10 finally this year. Last week, Little, of course, second in the Busch Series point battle last year. Major sponsorship deal for him this year with John Deere, the farm implement company. They have had their problems getting that Pontiac going in 1996.
Well, I think he's been competitive. I think it's been going. It's just the luck hasn't been there to bring home the good finishes. It's one thing or another. But even like today, I mean, he's in the hunt. He's running decent. But just last year, everything went so good for him. It's hard to repeat that.
Chad Little, a driver who has moved up nicely, started 24th today, running 10th at the moment as we ease toward the 150 lap mark. 100 to go in just a few moments, and you'd be in that window almost when you could take your second set of tires on if you were a gambler.
Looks like he's almost underneath Phil there. He's working hard to try to get on the inside. Now he's got him.
Made the move down into turn number 3. Meantime, Dick Trickle about to make a move on Mark Green and gain another position. So the Duraloop Chevrolet gets by Mark Green's car, and that puts him up in 8th spot.
I tell you can't count him out either. He's just starting to get used to the car and the track and seeing what he has here.
When you've run as many laps on short tracks as Dick Trickle has, I would think patience would be something to be a little easier for you to come by.
Yeah, and the overall experience if the car is pushing, run this line. If it's loose, run that line. And I'm sure he made an adjustment on that caution that finally did come out. It's the first time they had to work on his car, just like everybody else's. And it's showing up. It's making a difference. He's going to be good before this thing's over with.
Tim Fedewa right in that group of cars in the 40, but he's a couple of laps behind Fedewa in the 40, being shown back in 22nd spot. Phil Parsons gives us a ride. He is 11th. David Green is your leader. More to come from Myrtle Beach. Caterpillar Chevrolet, your pole sitter today, led the first 50 laps. Gave up the lead to brother Jeff Green. Recaptured the lead many laps ago, and he's out in front. Dale Earnhardt Jr., who started 7th today, he's had a busy day, Chuck Baum.
Yeah, he has. He was running pretty darn good in that long green flag stretch. After the first caution, he was spun. He was last for the restart. He worked his way up to about 12th, was doing good. Then a caution came out. He was making a pit stop, and we got a report that he ran over his air hose. That's a 15-second penalty. He just give Curtis Markham a little wake-up call coming off the corner there. And that made him lose a lap in the pits. The stop sign board come up. He had a 15-second penalty, I think, for running over the air hose. So he's down 1 lap, but he's still driving it hard and going pretty good.
He is running it very hard indeed. Curtis Markham in the 63 being shown up in the 10th spot. Phil Parsons with some problems there. Looked like he was losing some ground. But Randy Pemberton, you've been busy. You've been watching Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s pit stops. What's been going on down there?
Well, exactly what Chuck said. That's what happened. Unfortunate for him because I'm standing down here in turns 1 and 2. This kid can drive, and I am not kidding you. He is passing guys on the outside, the inside. He has probably got a top 5 car here. If he can ever get rid of some of this traffic, catch a couple of cautions on the right spot, he may very well be able to get that lap back. He has impressed me immensely today.
He's really putting the hammer down, trying to get by, though, shouldering his way by Tim Fedewa there as the cars race down into 1 and 2 and up onto the back straightaway. He's got Curtis Markham in front of him at this point. Dale Earnhardt Jr. being shown back around the 20th spot right now as we've got less than 100 laps to go, coming up on 90 to go here at Myrtle Beach.
And this battle he's involved with should be for about the 12th position, but except for that air hose incident. But he's got by Curtis and given him a few little taps, let him know he was coming, and got on by.
He's being shown 18th now, 1 lap down as we take a look at your leaders. David Green in the 95 continues to set the pace. Jeff Green in the 3 right behind him in 2nd spot. Green with a couple of career 2nd place finishes, no victories so far. Maybe this will be the day, but he's got to get by his brother, who has shown the pace, shown the way much of the day here. This, though, the battle again for 7th, 8th, and 9th. These 3 cars have been going at it for the last 20 laps or so. Dick Trickle has injected himself into this one in the 64 car. He gets by Mike McLaughlin right there to pick off another position. Dennis Setzer is directly ahead, being shown in 7th spot.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be long. He's going to go by Setzer, too. He's getting this thing worked out pretty good. He's on a roll right now. I think he's going to getting by Setzer, and I think he's got a good chance of going up there and giving Jason Keller and the 99 both a good run for the next few spots.
This actually is for 6th because Setzer had gotten by McLaughlin earlier. McLaughlin was 6th for a long time. He's back to 8th right now. So Setzer in the 38 is running 6th. The 7th spot belongs to Trickle in the 64, and then McLaughlin in the 34 running 8th. And Mark Green goes back to 9th. You got a glimpse of the 37 on the outside there. Trickle really on the move. That car is working for him just super nice at this point.
Yes, it is. He's not abusing it. He's taking care of those tires. And all these drivers still have one more set of tires. But they've got a good 5-car race here. The 88 car's coming into it as well. Kevin LePage making a pass on McLaughlin.
LePage being shown 10th and doing a terrific job today as well. He started pretty deep in the pack here as well today. He's back to 17th. So he's been moving forward. But Trickle, remember, Trickle took a provisional to get in the show. Johnny Rumley couldn't qualify the car by time. So Trickle started back in 41st position today in car number 64, and he is up to 7th right now with less than 90 laps remaining.
But in all fairness to Johnny Rumley, he's the one that ran all the practice laps in this car this weekend, both yesterday and again this morning. So I'd have to say it's probably his setup that's under that car, and Dick's taking advantage of it.
Battle again for 6th, 7th, and 8th. Dick Trickle, Kevin LePage, Dennis Setzer right there, and Trickle moving by with ease to take command of that battle. Chad Little now moving up, getting around Mike McLaughlin to gain a spot. Chad Little in the 23 car trying to get back into the top 10 here and make a run. It was 11th. That should have put him back in 10th, dropping McLaughlin back. So the 34, the Royal Oak Charcoal machine, apparently developing some looseness in that car as we move toward the 80 lap to go mark here today.
Pretty much like 4th through 11th are almost nose to tail. The first 3 have broken off a little bit, but 4th place there, number 57, Jason Keller, all the way back to the last one in that line there. They're not very far apart. It's anybody's race for 4th.
We take a little longer look at those cars through 3 and 4, and there you get a look at the vehicles. We saw the Keller car and Glenn Allen Jr. go by, and we'll look back. There's Mark Green and Chad Little back in 9th and 10th, and Mike McLaughlin hasn't given up yet either. He's hanging right in there, a couple of car lengths behind, but you can see his car pushing up a width between turns 1 and 2. As we watch Mark Green, who sat on the outside pole here today, back in 9th right now. David Green, the leader in the Caterpillar Chevrolet, the 95 car. The fans getting a workout here today. Almost 100 degrees in Myrtle Beach. We'll be back. Aerial shots today provided by the Spirit of Atlanta. When it comes to what Kroger will do for its customers, the sky is the limit. These pictures very much appreciated here today. Wonderful video provided by the folks on board that limit. As we look down at Myrtle Beach Speedway, good crowd here today to watch the NASCAR Busch Grand National Series. And the Green brothers really turning this into a Green family outing. As we watch Larry Pearson many, many laps down. Less than 75 to go, and David Green has had this his own way much of the afternoon.
Yeah, Jeff's not that far behind. He's been able to see him every lap since the restart with their new tires, but he's not any better. He's not any worse, but he's not any better at this point.
If you have to take tires under Green, no penalty for that, but with 75 laps to go, how long do you wait to see the car go tonight?
Well, to tell you the truth, I don't really think they'll come in under the Green, under the circumstances now. They went clear to 120 laps before they come in and got him, which was not that much shy of halfway. I don't think they'll stop again if it stays Green. They can make it on fuel as well. Jeff Purvis must have made a adjustment on his car during that caution flag when they got new tires, because he's been pretty darn strong. He can keep him right there in sight. Again, he's no better, but he's not falling back either. He's keeping him right in sight.
Nice strong run for Purvis. He's been up close today, but he really hasn't been in the battle for the lead. Qualified very nicely here this weekend. Started 14th. And again, we take you back. This is the battle for 4th and 5th and 6th. Jason Keller being shown in 4th. Kevin LePage in the 88 car. In 5th, the 66 car of Nathan Bucky, car that's been a lap down most of the afternoon. He got a lap down early and has tried valiantly to get his lap back. Hasn't been able to do it, but he's still hanging right in there with the lead group of cars. But Jason Keller, a driver who's been very, very patient today, running up in the 4th spot, started 5th. He's just been steady really all afternoon. Had that one spin early on, but since then he's recovered nicely. 15 cars remaining on the lead lap and coming up 70 laps to go next time around. Leaders down in turns 1 and 2, or this group of cars anyway, through turns 1 and 2 and up onto the backstretch. Leaders down in 3 and 4 right now.
Kevin LePage has not been in that 88 car, but probably a half dozen races. He's done a heck of a job in it. He's doing real well today. He's going to get him a good finish, it looks like. Maybe a career best in the Busch Series. Best
finish of the year so far for him, a 7th at Nazareth with the Farmers Choice Fertilizer team a couple of weeks ago. Chad Little's now sitting in the 5th spot, doing a really, really nice job today. He started back in 17th when we put this thing under Green back at 5 o'clock this afternoon.
He's been patient. He's taking care of it. The car looks pretty clean. It's not too beat up and banged up. It looks like he's been driving it pretty smartly.
Moving by Todd Bodine in the 81 car. Another driver who's lost a lap now. Bodine running one lap down in 16th spot. You take a look at the first 10. Dick Trickle up to 6th. We've been watching his progress through the field. Mark Green started on the outside pole, hanging on in 9th, but at the moment, not much of a threat to get up and contend for the victory. Still a very nice performance for Mark Green and that team here this weekend as we watch Jason Keller and Kevin LePage continue their fight for 4th spot.
They've been going at it for many, many laps. But another 10, 15 laps here, those tires will start getting even worse, and maybe one of them will have an edge on the other. I don't know which one it might be, but we'll just have to wait and see. That's why we're here.
Is this a time in the race when you're coming up on the 200-lap mark where you do want to ride and be patient, wait for that last 30 or 40 laps?
I really think with just 40 or 50 to go, as small as this track is, you need to start doing it now. You can't wait too awful long now. Even you can see Jeff Green here. He's closing in on his brother David. This is just what we saw in the first long green flag stretch. Now, I don't know if David got held up in traffic or if Jeff's getting a little bit stronger, but this race is far from over.
We went from the leaders there back a little further. A guy we haven't talked much about, Tommy Houston in the Suburban Propane 4, the number 6 car. He is sitting 12th. Curtis Markham in the Lysol in the 63 Pontiac. That is running in 11th spot right now is Markham in that automobile. Those two drivers have been going at it pretty well for much of the afternoon, too. Markham in his 3rd start here at Myrtle Beach did very well here 1 year ago. So he's a driver who knows his way around this half-mile oval.
And not very far in front of those two guys is Mike McLaughlin, and I think they might be catching him a little bit. His car hasn't been quite as good on this green flag stretch as it was the first one.
Houston ran 3rd here, well, back in the first race they ever held here in 1988 in the Busch Series. 9th start, 9th time the series has been here. And Houston trying to find a way to get up and get around Curtis Markham and pick off a spot, maybe move into 11th, Markham 11th, Houston in 12th. And for Tommy Houston, they've struggled at times to make some of these Busch Series races. So for him to make the show and turn in a great performance today for the driver who leads and career starts in the Busch Series, very nice performance indeed. Meantime, David Green leads his brother Jeff up on some lap traffic now, coming up toward the 200 lap mark, and we'll see how the leaders get by these lap cars.
Now he's got a big pack right in front of him. They're too wide, even some of them. Right now they're staying high. They're letting him take the inside groove, which is the way he wants to do it.
Green by Doug Heveron in the 75 car. Had problems earlier. Back on the track, Mike Dillon in front of them in the 72. And there's Glenn Allen Jr. in the 99.
Glenn Allen Jr. was second when that caution came out. Now he's getting lapped. I don't know. He got a bad set of tires or made an adjustment that didn't work, backfired on him. It's just hard to say. But boy, his car's up here as good as it was in the first half of this race.
David Green, who won for you on TNN earlier this year at Hickory. He's been showing away much of the afternoon here. Jeff Green in the 3 car led for a good portion from about lap 50 to lap 100 in there. But other than that, it's been all David Green today. Jeff, though, right behind him now, putting the 3 car all over the 95. Cars down the back stretch.
Now, traffic settled down a little bit, but they've still got 3 of them they're going to pass here in the next few laps. But they are single file at least.
David Green, a short track master. Hickory, of course, the shortest of the short tracks on the Busch Series. About 1/3 of a mile, and it kind of exemplifies the term bull ring. So he's at home here on this racetrack. A lot of folks thought that he was the driver to watch today coming into the event. As we take you topside one more time, Mike Dillon in the 72 directly in front of him, lapped car.
I almost think Jeff Green's car is starting to look like it's just a little bit stronger than David's. It really does. Getting by him is going to be tough, though.
So a lot of this may play out in terms of whether we have another caution before the end of the race.
Oh, big time. If they get to come in and put on 4 new tires, it's David Green's advantage. If they have to finish the race as they are, it's Jeff Green's advantage.
Jeff's best finish of the year, a second at Bristol, a very high-speed half-mile in Tennessee. Back earlier this year, back in April. He's been second 3 times in his Busch race career, but he's making a move for the lead in turn 1.
Yeah, David's not going to fight him. He knows he's a little bit better.
Jeff Green is your leader. Randy Pemberton, what are they saying in the Caterpillar pits?
Well, it's kind of the same way it was on his first set of tires. You remember it started to give up a little bit. He said it's loose as heck right now, and he's going to have to ride out. Now what he wants to do is catch a caution so he can get this last set of tires on that race car.
No caution at the moment. We're green at Myrtle Beach Speedway, closing in on 50 laps to go. 195 on the board. Your leader is Jeff Green. We'll be right back. As we bring you back live to Myrtle Beach Speedway, remember that Opryland USA is the official destination of NASCAR. For more information on Opryland, call 615-889-6611, Monday through Friday. Vacation time, a lot of folks heading to Opryland. maybe today's winner will get a call to go there for our TNN Salute to Motorsports at Upper Lane, coming up starting June the 26th. David Green running second right now behind brother Jeff. He has led twice today for 151 laps. Jeff Green had led for 49 laps before taking over the lead just a few laps back. We've just crossed the 200-lap mark, 50 to go. Here at Myrtle Beach Speedway, Chuck Bound had got to be thinking about pit stops here at some point.
Yeah, we've seen a few little excursions happen. Larry Pearson spun in turn 4, but didn't bring out a yellow. He didn't hit anything. We saw a little piece of debris laying on the racetrack, but it's out of the groove, out of harm's way. We're still going green.
One guy who wants his first Busch Series win is the guy leading right now. Randy Pemberton, what's going on pit road?
Well, we have had a couple of guys pit so far, but it's only been the guys a lap or more down. We have the 99 car pit. Bill Parsons is pitted. Also, Nathan Butke. We had none of the leaders even looking at pit road. I have to question Chuck Bound whether or not they'll even attempt to come down pit road, because if you do, you're going to give away the race. If they catch a caution while you're on pit road, you're pretty much done. Do you think they'll come in, or will they stretch it, or what?
I don't think these leaders will come in. They'll ride it out. They're running. It'll throw the race, like you say. If they come in for tires under the green, they'll definitely finish this race with this set of tires on unless the yellow comes out.
46 left. Jeff Green, your leader in the 3 car, about to put Tommy Houston a lap down. You've got to think this is going just the way Jeff Green wants to see it go. You pointed out, Chuck, a couple of times, this car is much better than the other competitive cars, the other up front cars on a set of tires he's had on for a while.
Yeah, there's no question about it. If it stays green till the finish, I think it's definitely Jeff Green's advantage. If they get a caution, it'll switch right over to David Green's advantage, because his car's really strong on a new set of tires. But right now, David Green's almost got to worry about Jeff Purvis. He's still trying to reel him in a little bit. I think maybe David just got held up in traffic a little bit, but Jeff Purvis can still see him. He's not very far behind. He's running good, too.
Tommy Houston was running 13th. He just ducked onto pit road under green. Meantime, Mike Harmon's car spitting some fluid out of the overflow back there. Jeff Green by him up through turn 2 and up onto the back straightaway. And running all alone at the moment. He has opened up quite an advantage.
There's Purvis working some lap cars, trying to catch up to second place David Green, and I think he's got a real shot at him if this race stays green.
Moving by the Rodney Combs automobile, a couple of laps down is Rodney Combs. Buckshot Jones in there as well for the 00 car. He too, a couple of laps down. Hermie Sadler in the 1 car, another driver many thought would be a contender here today. He's back in 17th, a couple of laps back. Buckshot Jones hanging right in with Purvis at the moment. Purvis running 3rd in the 4 car, and he's pushing way high coming out of turn 4.
Now he's slipping and sliding, and we're starting to see some of the lap cars go in and get new tires, and that's why they come out of the pits and they just fly by everybody at the time being. And like I said, it's a 2-second difference from the start of a green flag run with a new set of tires until 40, 50 laps into it. You just slow down immensely.
Jeff Green, meantime, continues to show the way. He's got Mike Harmon there in the 24 right alongside him. Jeff Green opening up a good advantage on David Green, who is second. Some lap cars between the two of them. About 40 laps left here at Myrtle Beach. 3 and 4, the 72 car gets around. And right away, they were out with a caution flag to give everyone a shot at some fresh tires for the last few laps of this race. So Randy Pemberton, the field, the leaders particularly, will be heading out of pit road, I guess, next time by. The pace cars out there. They keep the pit road closed at this point.
Yeah, they're giving the field the opportunity to completely catch up. And this is it now. We're going to have a shootout. We're going to have about a 30-lap sprint to the checkered flag with 4 new tires. And we might have a few cautions in this last 30 laps. It's hard to say.
And as you've pointed out several times this afternoon, who's been the best of all on fresh tires?
Well, that's been the 95 car with David Green, no question about it. But I promise you, Jeff's hungry. He needs to win bad. He's come close a lot of times. I can't wait. And I tell you, Kevin LePage is coming up into the picture. He's hungry. He hasn't won a Busch competition, and Jeff Purvis is still close. It's not over. It's far from over. This is when it's like the last 2 minutes of a basketball game now. We're getting down to racing.
And quick pit work will certainly be a key. We'll watch how these top teams get it done when the leaders swing out of pit road here in just a moment at Myrtle Beach Speedway behind the pace car. Hope you've enjoyed the action so far. We've got the best saved till last, I think it'd be safe to say today. 214 laps complete at Myrtle Beach. And here comes the leader. Jeff Green swings onto pit road to bring the first group of cars down, coming to the attention of their crews. Randy Pemberton is on pit road for us to tell us how this will all play out as Jeff Green brings the 3 car.
I don't have to tell you how important this pit stop is. It's going to be a 4-tire stop for the 3 crew as well as the 95 team. 95 team pits up just a ways further up pit road. Right side tires are on for the 3 car. Coming around the left, loosening the left side lug nuts. A little slow on the jack. It's about the same time around for the 95 team as well. Jeff sits calmly in the car, checks the rearview mirror, watching for traffic on pit road. Left side tires going on. The Goodwrench team, little slow. Purvis goes by. The 57 car goes by. A little slow for this team. Wow, they got to be disappointed with that one.
David Green, though, first off pit road comfortably. And Jeff Purvis and Jason Keller will come out behind him and line up in second and third. As we watch some of the other work going on, Dick Trickle pitting on the backside, a driver who may be in contention, too. This Innovation in Motion brought to you by Peerless Faucet. Get more out of your faucet than just water. Chad Little's team has come up with a new ventilation system that funnels cooler air to the back of Chad's seat. But Chad says there are some other things the driver can do to prepare for a hot afternoon on the Speedway.
First of all, you need to drink a lot of fluid. I think secondly, you don't need to be hiding in the shade and air conditioning all weekend long. You need to start getting your body used to it, maybe even starting, a couple days ago. Thirdly, it doesn't hurt to eat right until you have a lot of nutrition inside you when you're getting up for that event. And then inside the car, of course, just the common sense things that we do as drivers is, make sure the car's vented right. A lot of the heat screening material under the seat, vented to your neck, to your feet, and just make sure that you can get as much fresh air as you possibly can. That'll help a lot.
And on a day like this, Chuck Bound, you want to stay as cool and comfortable as you can.
Yeah, and these yellow flags, you think of them as relief. But actually, that's when the air pretty much just stops moving. And you can feel all that sweat just running off your forehead into your eyes. And you really realize, because you have time to sit there and think about it, man, it's hot in here.
Randy Pemberton on pit road. What's happening with the 3-car?
Well, I sort of want to defend their pit stop down here. What happened was these pits are very tight. Chad Little pitting right next door. What happened was the air hose for the right rear tire changer got wrapped around this water bottle here, and that's what caused the tough, slow pit stop for the 3 team. Tough break for them.
Tough break indeed, but he'll have about 30 laps or so to try to get back up and contend. You've heard of Planet Hollywood. You've heard of the Hard Rock Cafe. Well, something similar is coming to the sport of motor racing. Let's take a look. Well, first, it was the NASCAR Thunder Stores. Now, the NASCAR Cafe. It's a brand new theme restaurant concept that's going to roll out nationwide in the next few years. The first location being built right here in Myrtle Beach, very near the beach, as a matter of fact. Well, we were here this week for the Myrtle Beach Speedway event. Busch Grand National Series driver Chad Little got a chance to tour the new layout with NASCAR Cafe's president, Mark Dyer.
It's a big project. We're sitting on about 4.5 acres here, right across from Broadway at the beach, here in the heart of Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
This is one of 3 that are on the drawing board right now that'll be opened within the year, and they're going to be fantastic places for people to come in and eat and get a good history of racing in the region. And it's going to be one of a kind. It's going to be a neat project.
Well, they say opening fall of ¡96. Chuck Bound, they told us earlier this afternoon they hope to be open by the time we go to Darlington for the Southern 500 on Labor Day weekend. So that's not very far off at all. They've got a lot of work to do, but a great crew working on that. Great restaurant company supporting that concept of the NASCAR cafes, too. So we can get a steak next time we come here.
Okay, that sounds good to me, Rick. Let's go.
Dick Trickle taking us for a ride in the Duraloop Chevrolet. He has been in contention much of the afternoon, coming up from 41st starting spot. He's gotten into the thick of things. He'll restart in, 10th spot as we take a look now at the scoring loop here. Getting ready to go green. Phil Parsons riding with us as well today. He's back in 18th for the restart. Pace car is in. We've got 31 laps to go, Chuck Bound. David Green will bring him to the stripe. We'll see what will happen on the fresh tires here. David Green into turn 1 and 2 as we watch from Phil Parsons' roof camera. Jeff Purvis up to second spot. Jason Keller moving into third. He got off pit road ahead of Jeff Green. David Green now with a couple of car lengths over Purvis.
Looks like David got off to a really good restart like he always does. And getting first out of the pit was a big advantage. It's really going to help him in this little 30-lap sprint. But still a lot of racing we're going to see before this one's over. I don't see any fans leaving. It's going to be good.
Tight battling a little further back in the pack. Mike McLaughlin's been in the top there. Chad Little getting the black flag, we're told, for making an improper pass when they came to the stripe. Jeff Fuller there as we get a look from like Dick Trickle's in-car camera getting passed by. He's had his problems this afternoon, spun twice in this one. Meantime, we watch Little. They're showing Little's number on the board, but he hasn't come in for consultation as yet.
Well, evidently, he must pass somebody on the left-hand side. You're allowed to pass on the right as soon as the green flag is waving on a restart condition. But if you pass somebody on the left prior to getting to the start-finish line when the green flag is waving, they'll bring you in, which is what they're going to do with Chad.
Jeff Green running back in fourth. Kevin LePage in the 88 is fifth. They were up in second and third earlier, first and third actually, but they got shuffled back a little off that pit stop sequence. So Jeff Green in the 3, back to fourth. LePage in the 88 is fifth. Your leader still David Green, as we put lap 2:24 on the board now, so 26 to go here at Myrtle Beach this afternoon.
Yeah, LePage's pit stop wasn't quite as good either. He lost a spot. He had been ahead of Jason Keller. Now he's back behind him. But he's giving Jeff Green all he wants right now. And also Dick Trickle was up to 6th when that pit stop come out. But no, there's Chad stop and go. That's all they did. Make him come down pit road, come to a stop. Then they let him go again. But on a little half-mile racetrack that takes 21 seconds to get around, he just got last, as you can see.
Another lap down. That'll be 2 laps behind for the driver who finished second in the Busch Series point battle 1 year ago. A reminder as we close in on 7 o'clock Eastern time, immediately following the checkered flag here at Myrtle Beach. Race Talk with Eli Gold live on TNN tonight from Michigan International Speedway. Eli will be talking live with Johnny Benson Jr., who won the championship in the Busch Series 1 year ago. Randy LaJoie driving that car this year, second in the current point battle. David Green, the pole sitter, has led much of the race this afternoon, but needed a good pit stop just a few moments ago to recapture the point, and he is leading now with 25 left. Meantime, this is the battle still for 4th spot. The 3 car, Jeff Green, is 4th. 88 LePage is 5th. Dick Trickle, as we take a ride with him one more time, up to 9th in the Duraloop car from 41st starting spot today.
He's got Buckshot Jones on the inside of him. And it looks like a 63 car back there as well. That's for position. 63 cars on the lead lap with Curtis Markham.
He's running in 10th spot. Tommy Houston 11th, right behind that group of cars. Trickle pushing to the high side there, trying to get by Buckshot Jones and maybe move up into contention here in the last handful of laps. David Green out of turn 2, your leader, as we continue to ride with Trickle and look back at Markham, who's trying to move up on him and make a move there. This is the battle for 6th spot. Mike McLaughlin in the 34 car has fought back. He was way off the pace earlier. He's come back to 6th. The 38 of Setzer is 7th. Mark Green in the 37, a little loose there. He's 8th. We've got a couple of them up in the wall in 3 and 4. Looks like the 88 car of Nathan Butke, the 74 car of Randy LaJoie.
Boy, it has not been Randy's day between just simply loose when the race started and then a spin on the backstretch when he just slowed down for another wreck, and now he's up in the wall. But he's still running. That car's still going.
That's the 66 rather than the 88, but it is Nathan Butke in that car. The 88 is Kevin LePage's automobile. Butke with an 8th spot twice in his Busch Series career. Doesn't run every race, working toward that point in the Durg Lost car, but had a good run going here today before getting tangled up with LaJoie. He was up in 24th spot. Randy LaJoie's been around a couple of times today. This is an afternoon, I think, that Steve Bird and Randy LaJoie and the Base Motorsports crew would just as soon forget about when this is all said and done.
But they can't when you run for point championship. Every one of them counts.
Butke back underway with severe back-end damage to the 66 car. David Green is your leader. 20 laps to go at Myrtle Beach. We're under caution. We'll be back to bring you the finish after this. David Green takes him into turn 1 in the 95 car. Right behind him is Jeff Purvis in the 4. He's in 2nd spot. Jason Keller in the 57 is up to 3rd. Jeff Green there 4th. Kevin LePage right behind him in 5th. Mike McLaughlin is 6th. We've got just a handful of laps to go, Chuck Bound. What do you think will play out here?
Well, I think they're going to drive them for everything they're worth. They're not going to worry about saving the tires. Don't worry about the brakes. Don't worry about anything. Just make your moves. Get the job done.
Bill Parsons carrying one of our onboard cameras today back in 18th. Directly in front of him, Mike McLaughlin. Now, remember, McLaughlin is up in 6th, so Parsons' car lapped down at this point. In fact, top 10 cars remain on the lead lap with just under 20 laps to go as we watch the leader, David Green, opening up the advantage now. About 5 car lengths ahead of Purvis into turn 1.
The most difficult thing right now is the double pot restart. Puts the lap cars up there, and these guys are just frantically trying to get on by them. You don't want to get caught behind a lap car. You want to have a clean track to run that guy down in front of you for position. But, you know, it's the rules. Those guys that are lapped down are racing hard, too. It means something to them as well.
This is the battle for 4th. Jeff Green in the 3 car is 4th. The 88 of LePage about to go inside him for the spot.
They're going to rub a little bit. Looks like, I think Kevin's made a good job there. He's been all over him in the last restart. I thought he had a good chance to get him, and he's done it.
Jeff Green still searching for his first career Busch Series win. Led 49 laps here earlier this afternoon. He's been put back into 5th spot now. Kevin LePage is up to 4th. No change out in front meantime. It's still David Green as we go to Phil Parsons. Rooftop shot one more time. He's riding behind Tommy Houston at the moment. And Houston, as we mentioned, has had a good run today. He's a lap down now. Came in under green for tires earlier. But he's been running up front almost all afternoon. Scored in 11th spot. As we take a look out the back of the Parsons car. Dale Earnhardt Jr. a little loose there. And the Mom and Pop's 31 out of the Earnhardt family stables. He's put on a good show. The fans here really love him. We've seen no driver get as good a fan reaction today as Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the 31 car. Of course, he's a series regular here in the Winston Racing Series every week in the late model stock car division. He's won a main event here this year. Ran earlier this afternoon in the late model car. Finished fourth in a 100-lap event that preceded our Busch Series race that started back at 5 o'clock this afternoon Eastern time. We look a little further back in the field. 10 laps to go for the leaders, Mark Green and Dick Trickle, battling back there for 8th and 9th spot. Mark Green is 8th in the 37. Trickle in the Duralube car is 9th, and it looks as though from the way they're getting sideways, Chuck, that these tires haven't held up much more.
Yeah, they're driving them really hard. They're sliding them around a little bit. They're not going to save the tires. They've got the lap cars right in front of them, holding the pace up just a little bit. And I think you've got Curtis Markham right behind Trickle, so there's about 4 guys here fighting for that position.
The 64 and the 37 fighting for 9th. Right now, Mark Green's got it.
Not very far in front of him.
Trickle has turned in a fine drive. We've told you the story how he didn't practice or qualify the car. Flew down from Michigan this afternoon. He'll run the Winston Cup event tomorrow. Jumped in a provisional 41st spot. Has gotten to the top 10. Hasn't been able to get much further than 9th or 10th, but he's really given Mark Green all he can handle at this point.
Yeah, I think he was actually up to 6th position on that last caution flag, but hitting on the backstretch made him pay the price a little bit. You hear so much talk about that. He was the last one on the restart of the cars on the lead lap.
Got a quick look at Dennis Setzer, the 38, who's hung right in there, too. He is 7th at the moment. Back to 8th, there's Green, and then in 9th, it's Trickle.
Setzer's been there all day, just hanging in there, working with that thing. He's going to get him a good finish today. He's earned it.
Trickle now about to move by and pick up 8th spot from Mark Green. As we get to the last handful of laps, we're inside 10 to go, and David Green is your leader. And right after we conclude the broadcast here from Michigan International Speedway, Eli Gold brings you Race Talk with Johnny Benson Jr. A full hour on TNN Motorsports coming up next. We ride along with Trickle and Hermie Sadler with a tire down on the right side. He got up high, almost to the wall, and he's trying to limp around to the pit area.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it's going to bring out a caution. I think he's going to make it on his own.
5 laps to go for the leaders next time by. Dennis Setzer with Dick Trickle having him in his sights at the moment. Setzer still running 7th. Trickle now has advanced to 8th in the 64 car, and 5 laps to go as the lead cars come out of turn number 4, and they'll lap by Hermie Sadler. David Green gets the 5 to go sign. Sadler in the DeWalt number 1 with a cut down right front tires, apparently going to try to tough it out. He's made a full lap now with that tire down. Green with less than 5 remaining. Looks as though he's on track to win another short track event in the Busch Series here in 1996.
I hope everybody misses him. I don't know if he just couldn't get down pit road because of traffic, or if he chose to try to ride it out and get the checkered flag with his flat, but he's going so slow he just as well couldn't even change it.
David Green in the Caterpillar Chevrolet out of the Buzz McCall American Equipment Racing Shop doing a great job. Here's Trickle drawing up now on the 38 of Setzer. This is a battle for position. This is for 7th spot. Haven't given up at all. Trickle knows you can gain a lot of ground in the last couple of laps. And Hermie Sadler had walled 2 tires on the right-hand side of that car. And he comes in to the attention of his crew. We get a look at Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the 31 car. Up on the outside of Dennis Setzer, your leader, David Green, working his way around the racetrack.
Well, it looks like David's in pretty good shape with that strong lead he has, but Jeff Purvis and Jason Keller are still going to mix it up a little bit for that 2nd position.
That's the battle for 2nd right there. Purvis in the 4, Keller in the 57. And you've got to give a call to Jason Keller. Started 5th today. He backpedaled a couple of times. Spun once early. They put tires on that car, and he has fought back to 3rd, and he's challenging Purvis for 2nd spot. As we come up on lap 248, there should be 2 to go. Next time by, we see the white flag in the starter's hand this afternoon, and there it is. David Green gets the white flag last trip around the half-mile here at Myrtle Beach Speedway. So we'll watch David Green up between 1 and 2, and the car nice and tight down on the low side.
That's a pretty sight when you're leading the race. See that white flag, especially when you're not getting the pressure right on your rear bumper. You know you can just kind of bring it home.
David's been very patient today. Comes up on Jeff Purvis. He'll come to the stripe. And for the 2nd time in 1996, David Green picks up the victory in the Busch Grand National Series. A very happy Caterpillar crew. Saw Buzz McCall here yesterday. The team owners here. This is the battle for position. And Dick Trickle gets by Dennis Setzer to take over 7th spot on the last couple of laps. So Trickle, maybe with the drive of the afternoon, up from 41st to finish 7th. But the hats go off to David Green. We'll talk to the winner at Victory Lane when we come back. The pole sitter, your winner this afternoon. Let's talk to him. Randy Pemberton.
David Green pulls his Caterpillar Chevy in victory lane. Congratulations, your second win of the year, both of them from the pole position. You did it at Hickory a couple of months ago.
Well, Randy, we've had a good car all year and just had a little bad luck there last couple races, but you know, the crew got this one for me. Jeff was awful tough and Purvis came on there, but I don't know on a 30-lap run if I can handle Jeff. I was loose and he was tight at the first and he was better, but guys got me off first and feels good. But this Cat team's done a great job all year, and you know, we've qualified well, and then we've had our rash of bad luck, which Randy had his first year, but you know, it's going to be fun. Good to get my victory, especially here at Myrtle Beach. And also I want to say happy birthday to my mother-in-law, Janet, and my mother, Jane Green. So hope y'all enjoyed it.
Okay, David, had to be pretty exciting real quickly. All three of your brothers, you and your two brothers running up front early in the race.
Well, I always worried about Jeff, but Mark come up there and he was pressuring me, and I said, I think I helped him too much, but those guys did a great job with the Timberwolf team, and so did Jeff. So tough day in Myrtle Beach.
Okay, that's David Green.
David Green adds to his point lead, now a 112-point margin. Coming up immediately following our broadcast, Eli Gold with Race Talk from Michigan. Johnny Benson Jr., Chuck Bound. We look at the final field summary. Good race this afternoon.
Well, it really was. David Green did set the pole. He did win the race. He might have made it look easy, but I know it was not. He worked hard out there today.
A lot of action to come your way in the second half of the Busch Grand National season. We'll see you tomorrow with the highlights from this event at noon Eastern on race day. For Andy Pemberton and Chuck Bound, I'm Rick Benjamin. Hope you'll join us tomorrow. Eli is next with Race Talk. Thanks, everybody.